Since the dawn of human civilization, a silent pact has existed between our species and the wolf. In the beginning, it was a relationship of convenience, scraps of food in exchange for an early warning system. But as the centuries turned into millennia, that bond transformed. We didn't just want a companion, we needed a protector. We needed a creature that possessed the qualities we often lacked: unwavering loyalty, heightened senses, and above all, a complete absence of fear. But what is fearlessness in a dog? To the casual observer, it might look like aggression, but to the expert, true fearlessness is actually the opposite of aggression. An aggressive dog is often an insecure dog, one that lashes out because it is afraid. A truly fearless dog is a calm dog. It is a dog that can stand in the face of a charging predator, a flashbang grenade, or an armed intruder, and instead of panicking, it calculates. It waits for the right moment to act. It is a biological marvel of nerves and steel. Today, we are taking an exhaustive look at the 10 breeds that define this trait. We will travel from the frozen peaks of the Himalayas to the war-torn streets of ancient Rome and into the modern-day training grounds of the world's most elite special forces. These are the dogs that have stared down lions, bears, and the worst of humanity without ever blinking. These are the 10 most fearless dog breeds in the world. But before we begin, we are Meme Dogs TV. Subscribe to our channel. Let's get into it. Number 10. The Tibetan Mastiff, the Heavenly Guardian. We begin our journey in the roof of the world, the Tibetan Plateau. Here, oxygen is thin, the wind cuts like a knife, and the predators are some of the most efficient killers on the planet. For over 3,000 years, the Tibetan Mastiff has been the primary line of defense for both nomadic families and Buddhist monasteries. To understand the fearlessness of the Tibetan Mastiff, you have to understand its environment. In the Himalayas, a dog that shows fear is a dog that is dead. These massive animals, often weighing up to 160 pounds and covered in a thick, lion-like mane, were bred to work alone. While the shepherd slept or the monks prayed, the Tibetan Mastiff was left to make its own decisions. This created a breed with a level of independence and confidence that is almost unmatched in the canine world. Historically, they were known as the dogs that keep the gate. Travelers of old wrote of these dogs with a mix of awe and terror. Marco Polo described them as being as tall as donkeys, with voices like lions. Their bark is not a high-pitched yapping, it is a deep resonance boom that can be heard for miles across the mountain valleys. This bark is designed to warn off snow leopards and wolves before a fight even begins. But if the warning isn't heeded, the Tibetan Mastiff does not hesitate. They are known to be nocturnal guardians, becoming more alert and protective as the sun goes down. They possess a raw, ancient courage that doesn't rely on human commands. If a Tibetan Mastiff senses a threat, it doesn't look back at its owner for permission, it acts. This is why they are considered one of the most difficult breeds to train. You don't own a Tibetan Mastiff so much as you enter into a mutual respect pact with a prehistoric sentinel. Number 9. The Cane Corso, the Roman warrior. From the mountains of Tibet, we move to the heart of the Roman Empire. The Cane Corso is a breed that carries the history of Western warfare in its DNA. Its name is derived from the Latin cane corso, which translates roughly to guardian dog or dog of the courtyard. But in the days of the Roman legions, they had another name, the Peripherii. The Peripherii were fire-bearers. In the heat of battle, Roman soldiers would strap buckets of flaming oil to the backs of these dogs and send them charging into the enemy's cavalry lines. It takes a level of fearlessness that is almost impossible to comprehend for an animal to run toward the smell of smoke and the sound of screaming men and clashing steel. The cane corso is a descendant of the now extinct molossus, a giant Greek war dog. When the Roman Empire fell, the Corso didn't disappear. It transitioned into a farmhand of a different sort. They became specialized in hunting wild boar, perhaps the most dangerous game in Europe, and protecting livestock from apex predators. What makes the cane corso so uniquely fearless today is its intellectual approach to protection. They are incredibly observant. A corso will often spend hours simply watching the perimeter of its property. They have a high pain tolerance and a powerful athletic build that allows them to move with a speed that belies their size. Unlike other breeds that might be easily intimidated by a larger opponent, the Corso is a pressure player. The more intense the situation gets, the more focused the dog becomes. It is this Roman discipline that makes them a top-tier guardian for the modern era. Number 8. The Akita, the samurai of the north. In Japan, the Akita is more than just a dog. It is a national monument. It is a breed defined by a quality the Japanese call kan-i, a combination of bravery, composure, and mental strength. The Akita's history begins in the rugged mountains of northern Japan, specifically the Akita Prefecture. Here, they were the companions of the Matagi, the traditional winter hunters. These dogs weren't hunting rabbits or ducks, they were hunting the Yezo bear, a massive 600-pound predator. It was the Akita's job to track the bear and hold it at bay until the hunters could arrive. This required the dog to dance on the edge of death, dodging massive claws and teeth while refusing to let the bear escape. The Akita is famous for being a silent breed. They rarely bark unless there's a genuine, immediate threat. This silence is part of their fearlessness. They don't waste energy on posturing. When an Akita decides to defend its family, it does so with a terrifying, stoic efficiency. We cannot talk about the Akita's fearlessness without mentioning Hachiko, the dog who waited at a train station for 9 years after his owner had passed away. While we often view this story as a story of loyalty, it is also a story of courage, the courage to endure, to stand one's ground against the elements and the passage of time, and to never waver from a chosen path. This samurai spirit is present in every Akita. They are wary of strangers and intensely protective, but they carry themselves with a quiet dignity that suggests they know exactly how powerful they are. Number 7. The Bull Mastiff, the gamekeeper's shadow. In the mid-19th century, the great estates of England were being plagued by poachers. These weren't just hungry peasants. They were organized, often armed, and desperate men who would kill a gamekeeper to avoid being caught. The gamekeepers needed a dog that could track a human silently, pin them down, and ignore the threat of weapons. The result was the Bull Mastiff, a cross between the massive, heavy English Mastiff and the tenacious, fast Old English Bulldog. Known as the gamekeeper's night dog, the Bull Mastiff was bred for a very specific type of courage, the courage of restraint. Unlike most guard dogs, the Bull Mastiff was specifically trained not to bite. Their job was to use their massive 130-pound bodies as a shield and a pinning tool. Imagine the fearlessness required to charge a man in the dark of night, take him to the ground, and simply sit on him, staring into his face until your master arrives. The Bull Mastiff is an observer. They're famous for their ability to read a room. They can distinguish between a guest who is welcome and an intruder who is not, simply by the person's body language. They are docility and power wrapped into one. In the modern world, this translates to a dog that is incredibly calm in the home, but can transform into an immovable wall of muscle the moment a threat is detected. They don't need to be taught to be brave. It is the very foundation of their existence. Number 6. The Caucasian Shepherd, the Wolf Killer. If you search for videos of the most intimidating dogs on the planet, you will inevitably find the Caucasian Shepherd, or Ovcharka. Originating in the Caucasus Mountains, a region spanning Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Russia, this dog was designed to be the ultimate deterrent. For centuries, shepherds in these mountains had to deal with gray wolves and bears. They needed a dog that was large enough to win a physical confrontation with a wolf and brave enough to never back down from a bear. The Caucasian Shepherd is the result. They are massive, often reaching 170 pounds, with a coat that acts as natural armor against bites and the cold. What sets the Caucasian Shepherd apart is its extreme territoriality. In their minds, the world is divided into two categories, family and enemy. There is very little middle ground. During the Soviet era, these dogs were used to guard the Berlin Wall and high-security prisons because they are essentially impossible to bribe or intimidate. A Caucasian Shepherd's fearlessness is raw and ancient. They are not eager to please like a golden retriever. They are partners in defense. If a wolf enters their territory, the Ovcharka doesn't wait for a command. It doesn't bark a warning. It simply engages. Their bite force is one of the highest in the dog world, and their pain tolerance is legendary. To own one is to live with a creature that is only one step removed from the wild, a dog that views it as its sacred duty to stand between you and any threat the world might offer. Number 5. The Rhodesian Ridgeback, the Lion Hunter. We move now to the scorching plains of southern Africa. Here, the challenge was not wolves or bears, but the king of beasts, the African lion. The Rhodesian Ridgeback, characterized by the unique strip of hair growing backward along its spine, was the answer to a very dangerous question: how do you hunt a lion with a dog? Developed by boar farmers who crossed European breeds like Great Danes and Bloodhounds with the semi-wild ridged dogs of the Khoikhoi people, the Ridgeback is a marvel of endurance and bravery. It takes a very specific type of mind for a dog to track a lion. A dog that is too aggressive will be killed instantly. A dog that is too fearful will never find the cat. The Ridgeback's fearlessness is cold courage. They work in packs to harass and distract a lion, using their incredible agility to dance just out of reach of those deadly paws. They stay in the fight for hours, keeping the lion bailed up until the hunter can get close enough for a shot. This history has left the modern Ridgeback with a very high danger threshold. They don't get spooked by loud noises or sudden movements. They are independent and somewhat aloof, often described as hound-like in their temperament. But when it comes to their family, that ancient lion hunting instinct flares up. They are known to be silent sentinels, watching over their homes with a keen eye. They are a breed that doesn't feel the need to prove its bravery. Their history speaks for itself. Number 4. The Rottweiler, the butcher's gold. The Rottweiler is often victimized by bad press and Hollywood stereotypes, portrayed as a mindless monster. But the truth is far more impressive. The Rottweiler is a dog of profound duty and steady nerves. The breed's ancestors were Roman drover dogs that traveled with the legions across the Alps. They ended up in the German town of Rottweil, where they became indispensable to the local butchers. These dogs would drive cattle to market, and on the way home, the butchers would tie their purses of gold around the dog's neck. They knew that no thief, no matter how desperate, would dare approach a Rottweiler. This breed's fearlessness comes from its immovability. If you watch a Rottweiler when it's confronted by a threat, it doesn't usually bark and lunge immediately. Instead, it plants its feet, lowers its head, and stares. It is a psychological warfare that most intruders cannot handle. They have a wait-and-see temperament, which is a sign of high intelligence and extreme confidence. In the World Wars, Rottweilers served as messenger dogs and ambulance dogs, carrying medical supplies to soldiers in the trenches under heavy fire. They were chosen because they could handle the sensory overload of a battlefield without losing their focus. Today, that same focus makes them incredible service dogs and protectors. A Rottweiler doesn't act out of fear, it acts out of a deep-seated desire to do its job. Number 3. The Doberman Pinscher, the tax collector's protector. While most breeds on this list were created for hunting or herding, the Doberman Pinscher is the only one bred for the sole purpose of protecting a human being from other humans. Its creator, Louis Doberman, was a tax collector in late 19th century Germany, a job that was as dangerous then as you can imagine. He needed a dog that was fast, intimidating, and possessed an iron will. The Doberman is often called the dog with the human brain. Their fearlessness is high speed and analytical. They are the ultimate bodyguards. Unlike a Mastiff, which might be content to stay in one spot, a Doberman is a proactive protector. They're sensitive to the slightest change in their owner's heart rate or voice. During World War II, the Doberman became the official dog of the United States Marine Corps in the Pacific. They were used to lead patrols through dense jungles where Japanese snipers were hidden in the canopy. The Dobermans would point to the snipers, saving countless lives. Many of these dogs were killed in action, and a monument in Guam, the Always Faithful Memorial, stands in their honor. A Doberman's bravery is a choice. They are highly emotional dogs that bond deeply with their handlers. Their courage is fueled by love. They are willing to put their lives on the line, not because they were told to, but because they cannot imagine a world where their owner is in danger. Number 2. The Belgian Malinois, the elite operator. In the modern world of high-stakes security, there is one breed that reigns supreme. If you see a dog jumping out of a helicopter with a Navy SEAL or guarding the White House, it is almost certainly a Belgian Malinois. The Malinois is often mistaken for a German Shepherd, but they are very different animals. They are lighter, faster, and possess an intensity that is almost frightening to behold. In the canine world, they're nicknamed Maligators because of their incredible drive and lightning-fast bite. What makes the Malinois so fearless is its work-over-self mentality. This is a dog that will literally ignore its own injuries to complete a task. In the 2019 raid that neutralized ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, a Belgian Malinois named Conan was the hero. Conan chased the terrorist into a dead-end tunnel, ignoring the threat of explosives and the chaos of the firefight. Even after being injured, Conan stayed on the front lines. The fearlessness of the Malinois is active. They thrive on adrenaline. While other dogs might find a high-speed chase or a building search stressful, the Malinois finds it rewarding. They are the Ferraris of the dog world, high performance, requiring a master driver, and capable of reaching levels of bravery that most humans can only dream of. Number 1. The German Shepherd, the universal soldier. Finally, we reach number 1. There is a reason the German Shepherd is the most recognizable police and military dog in the world. It is the perfect blend of intelligence, athleticism, and unwavering courage. Created by Captain Max von Stephanitz in the late 1800s, the German Shepherd was designed to be the ideal dog. Stephanitz believed that utility and intelligence were the most important traits. During World War I, the world watched in awe as these dogs performed tasks that seemed impossible, crawling through no man's land to deliver messages, finding wounded soldiers in the dark, and standing their ground against tanks. The German Shepherd's fearlessness is adaptable. A German Shepherd can be trained to detect explosives, find missing children, or take down an armed criminal. They possess a clear-headedness under pressure that is the gold standard for canine behavior. We see this courage in dogs like Tracker, the German Shepherd who found the last survivor of the September 11th attacks at Ground Zero. Working through the smoke, the heat, and the jagged steel, Tracker never stopped searching. We see it in the thousands of police canines who go to work every day, knowing that they will be the first ones through the door in a dangerous situation. The German Shepherd is number one because it is the universal soldier. It has the heart of a lion and the mind of a scholar. It is a breed that doesn't just face fear, it masters it. As we have seen throughout this journey, fearlessness in dogs is a diverse and complex trait. Whether it is the ancient, solitary courage of the Tibetan Mastiff or the high-octane, tactical bravery of the Belgian Malinois, these dogs represent the very best of what the animal kingdom has to offer. But with this power comes a great responsibility for us, the humans who live alongside them. A fearless dog is not a toy. It is not a status symbol. It is a living, breathing warrior that requires guidance, structure, and a deep, abiding respect. Without proper socialization and a strong leader, a fearless dog can become a dangerous one. When you look into the eyes of one of these breeds, you aren't just looking at a pet. You are looking at thousands of years of history. You are looking at the legacy of the shepherds, the warriors, and the hunters who came before us. If you have the strength to lead them, they will give you a gift that no human can provide. The peace of mind that comes from knowing that no matter what comes through the door, no matter what lurks in the shadows, you will never have to face it alone. Because as long as there are dogs like these, the iron sentinels will be there, standing their ground, fearing nothing. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world's most fearless breeds. If you enjoyed this exploration, make sure to share it with a fellow dog lover. And remember, the greatest strength a dog has isn't its teeth or its muscles, it's the heart that beats inside its chest. Until next time. Also, if you want to find out about 10 dog breeds that never back down, click the video on the screen right now to enjoy the video. Thanks for watching, and give your dog an extra pat for me. They've earned it.